What's going on, YouTube? I'm making this video log, I guess in response to the FEMA camps, and been doing some thinking about it and stuff, and I take this little Samsung camera with me everywhere I go now, and I'm sorry if it sounds crappy. I'm in the car, you might hear everything rattling around. My car's a piece of junk. It's a 94 Cavalier Z24. If you know anything about cars, then you feel where I'm coming from. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about the FEMA camps, and I think that what Martin and Brian said, you are out of time, and sell 2012. I think it's dead on nuts. I think it's 100% right. The new FEMA camps under the 645 bill, I believe, are to put, like they said, Congress, the councilmen of local towns, the mayors, governor like Deval Patrick, people like John Kerry, and they're going to need places to go and be safe, and it makes a lot of sense, and even one of my buddies said the other day, he says, well, when everything happens, where are all these people going to go? I mean, he's like, obviously everyone's going to be after the bankers, everyone's going to be after the Congress for passing all these bills and letting everything go to hell. Well, they're going to go to these military bases and hide in the underground facilities they built underneath them. It makes total sense. I want to ask everyone out there to do what I'm going to do this week. Go to your local closed military base, and you can get on the closed bases and you can just drive around. Drive around, take a look, see what's going on, see if they got sand gun, if they got sandbags, if they got 50 cal nests, see if they got choppers in there, see if they're building fences, roadblocks, if there's a lot of military, if it looks like there's foreign troops, private security, black vans. I mean, go in there and look for anything suspicious. Try and get it on tape. I'm going to do it. I was going to make a film on all the cameras in my town and the town next to us and in the local area, but I think this is way more important than that. I have a friend that works in a hotel that's on Devon's, and he's been working there since they first built the hotel, and it was right after they closed Fort Devon's and then turned it into Devon's, and they have housing there for battered women, and there's a tech school there, and they built a bunch of stuff in what used to be the base. There's a lot of high-tech facilities there. American Superconductor is there. Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceutical and Science Labs are there. There's a biological lab there. There's a lot of stuff inside Devon's, all right? So it's well protected, it's watched, it's patrolled, but there's an area inside of Devon's which is completely fenced off and segregated. And in order to get in there, you have to have a DOD sticker on your windshield, and you have to have a Geneva Conventions ID, or a military dependence ID. And it's been that way for quite some time. Like I said, we got to know what's going on. We got to be a step ahead of these guys. We got to have the upper hand. YouTube is not going to be there forever. We're not going to be able to communicate forever like Cell 2012 was saying. They're not going to let us, especially now that all of us with decent noggins on our shoulders are coming up with some pretty sound theories. When you start looking into it, it's really not that hard to see, especially when you've got a lot of people looking at it and a lot of people scrutinizing and analyzing, and not just coming out with wacky ass theories just because that's what they think. I'm going to give you guys a theory. I know I'm not usually into talking about the wacky theories on the YouTube, but I'm going to give you mine, alright? I think that they know something is going to happen, alright? I think that that's why they want these things built within 60 days. I think that that's why they're pushing this through. I think that's why they've had these things built, why they've been working on them. I think they know that within a very short amount of time that something is going to happen. Whether Yellowstone erupts, whether there's a biological outbreak, another terrorist attack, another false flag attack, the economy collapse, whatever it may be, I think they know something is going to happen. Whether it's orchestrated, whether they've engineered it, whether they are just going to allow it to happen, I don't know, but I really think something's going to happen soon. And that like Martin said, that's when the trucks won't go to the stores anymore. That's when the railroads won't run. That's when the lights aren't going to be on. And if you really think about it, what is going to do all of those things at once? If you look into nuclear technology, all right, I'm a big fan of technology. They have electromagnetic pulse weapons, all right? It's a bomb that can go off like a nuclear bomb, all right, without all the death and destruction. It doesn't destroy anything. It doesn't throw out, uh, the 200-mile-an-hour winds. It just kills everything that's electronic. It fries circuits. It screws up electronic solenoids. It fucks with the magnets. Um, what's to say they don't let a nuke go off or something along those lines? I personally, this is my theory. This is what I don't believe it 100%, but this is just one of my theories I find to be more plausible. I see a nuke going off somewhere in the United States in the next year or year and a half. It's scary, it's sad, but I see it happening. A lot of people are tripping over the flus and the pandemics, and a lot of people are tripping over the economy stuff. But to have everything happen, like Martin said, which makes total sense, to have everyone going nuts and everyone killing each other over food, over water, over medicine, over booze, over whatever you have that they don't have, would be to set off a nuke. It's just going to throw an electromagnetic pulse, and it's going to fry power stations for miles, hundreds of miles. It'll fry the power stations, it'll shut down the grid, alright? It makes total sense. That's just my theory. You can take it for what it's worth. I don't know. Just personally, even if the dollar did collapse and they screwed everyone out of their money in the banks, I don't think it's enough for people to completely go nuts and start killing everybody like they want us to. I think it's going to take a little bit more than that. I think it's going to take everybody already being on the edge because of the economy, like they are on the edge. And then it's going to take that little extra push, you know what I'm saying? Like when you go up to the beehive and you keep poking the beehive, and the bees come out and they get mad and you run away, and maybe you get the garden hose and you spray it. Well, at some point those bees don't take it anymore and they just go nuts and they come out and they sting everything. And that's just what I think. But I think people need to start being prepared. I think they need to start making things out of plywood and 2x4s that you can keep in a closet. So if the time comes, you can board up the windows from the inside on your house. I think everybody should have a generator. I have a little 1500 watt generator that runs a 13-inch TV. It has enough juice to run a 1500 watt heater on low, so it only uses around 700 watts there, and a couple cameras. I know it sounds paranoid. You don't put a couple cameras up on your property if you have anything. If you plan on defending it and staying there, you can still watch the cameras if you got a generator running. Be smart, run the generator in a basement if you haven't, but make some kind of venting now so that you can hook the generator up to somewhat of an exhaust so people don't hear the generator running. People will come and steal that. I know firsthand about that kind of stuff. We had an ice storm here. You can look at my favorites, and the ice storm basically shut down the town for a few days, and you couldn't pass through any of the roads. It was totally insane. There was lines at gas stations for like a mile down the road. What gas stations had gas? People were going nuts. After 3 days with no power, people went nuts. And you don't understand what it's like to go drive through your town in complete darkness, have everything be completely black. And when you see that and you get that feeling, then man, you'll wish you had the boards on your windows. You'll wish you had an AR-15 and a fucking 45 next to you at all times. So get ready now. Be prepared now. Buy canned food. Buy rice. Start getting ready. Start gearing up because they're gearing up. Don't be left behind. And that's all I want to say. YouTube, you guys are awesome. I'm glad I found it. Martin, Brian, everybody out there, End Time Watchman, you guys keep it real, alright? Peace.